I think you guys can see me. I just hit live, so I'm waiting for the latency to catch up. But welcome, especially everybody that was waiting patiently for this thing to kick off. That's pretty awesome. I got to queue a few things up that I couldn't do beforehand. I had to wait for this thing to start. So we're gonna hang out for a minute. We're gonna let some more people get in here before we start the movie. We'll be starting it in about 10, 15 minutes. Hopefully I stop sweating by then.
When you look good.
Oh, let's. All right, gotta mute my own commercial. All right, in the chat, folks, please let me know how the audio is. The video is not going to be great just because of how we kind of have to do this on this one. You know, how's the sound? Good cops. Derek did the co-hosted. Really, he hosted the other one that we did because we did his movie. I had a bloody good time at House Harker. You can watch that on Prime. Derek, chime in. Is it on? Is it on Tubi now too? It's somewhere else now. It's on DVD on Amazon too, but it's on another streaming service. Is it not? Thanks for the audio check. Hopefully I stopped sweating. I've been running around setting up. Man, we got some people in here for not having started yet. So thanks everybody. I can't see myself. Hang on, let me switch. This is my beverage of choice. Yes, that's Jules from Pulp Fiction in a tiki glass, and yes, it's loaded with rum. Let's hang out in the chat for a minute, because when the movie starts, basically what's going to happen is we're going to queue it up together. I'm actually going to show you the screen just so you can see like exactly where I'm starting it. I'm going to do my best to get this timer synced up as well. That way, if you have to leave or pause and come back or something happens to your internet, you can pick up and you can just see where we're at in the movie. Let's see. The drink is a Dark and Stormy. That's my go-to. It's not the only thing that I drink, but it is certainly my go-to. There's actually a video from like 2 years ago of me showing how to make them, even though it's really just rum and ginger beer. Okay, so for people that are just joining and don't know what we're doing, in a few minutes we are all going to watch The Evil Dead together, the original Evil Dead. It is on Netflix in the US, maybe some other places, but it's available on Netflix. So go ahead while we're hanging out. This time is for you to queue up The Evil Dead. I haven't even done it yet. In fact, I'm hopping into Netflix right now. I'm going to be wearing headphones. There's no reason for you to. I'm doing it that way you can't hear the movie through the speakers. And even with the latency, it's all going to work out. You know, you'll be 8 seconds behind me, but you'll be in time with my commentary. I'm not planning on talking through the whole movie. Well, I'm going to talk through the whole movie, but not every second. I'm not just going to fill empty space like I'm commentating on a football game or something. I'm going to tell you what I know when something occurs to me, and if there's a moment that I really want to watch, I'm going to watch it. So we're going to enjoy the movie. If you find that I'm talking too much and you want to catch up on the movie or see what's going on, just mute me or turn me down, whatever you want to do. And I'm going to intro the movie here in a minute, but that's basically what's going on. We got 300 people watching right now. That's a great amount. I'm excited about that. I'm logging into my Netflix. If you guys have any questions, you can ask them now, because I won't really see them during the movie. I may miss them now, but we'll also hang out after the movie for some questions and stuff too. Where are we? Watch. I bet you they took it off today. I doubt it. They just added it recently. And just for anyone that's confused or hasn't seen it, there is a show called Ash vs. Evil Dead. Don't watch that one. I'm not saying don't watch it. I'm saying don't make the mistake and queue that one up. This is The Evil Dead. That's what we're watching. So this movie, You know what? And I don't have any notes. We're just gonna wing it. But I do know some stuff about this movie, and I believe I don't know why I'm looking up. I know it's from 1981. Let me just confirm. Yeah, 1981. So this is directed by Sam Raimi, who obviously went on to do The Evil Dead 2 and then Army of Darkness. That's the trilogy. He produced the remake in 2013, which is good, but it's very different from the original in a good way. And then he went on to direct a bunch of great movies, including he did the first Spider-Man trilogy. He did a really great movie with Bill Paxton and Billy Bob Thornton called A Simple Plan. That comes off and on of streaming services, and I recommend it every time it's available somewhere. Drag Me to Hell was kind of his return to horror. I love that one. So he's a great director. He doesn't do so much anymore, or at least he doesn't direct movies that often. But this one was done on a very low budget. I say very low. I think the budget was around $150,000, which is very low. And then it ended up costing like $500,000, which is a big. Darkman, somebody got it. That's the other one I was trying to think of with Liam Neeson. That's an awesome movie. Kiki, we have not started the movie yet, but we will be shortly. People are still jumping in. As I see the number go up, I'll repeat myself a little bit. We're going to cue the movie up very shortly. You will see my screen for a few seconds, so you can hit play at the exact same moment, and then you'll have this timer back here just to help you stay synced up. But keep your eyes on the movie, but I will be sort of with you through the movie, and I'll interject when I can. Yeah, over 300. That's awesome, folks. And we're not in a rush. I wanted to give people at least 10 minutes. That's why I'm kind of talking about the more general stuff about the movie. I remember seeing this in high school and not really liking it. Not necessarily hating it, but this is I don't even want to say it's an acquired taste, because it's not that much of an acquired taste. I think most people can enjoy this movie, and a lot of people do, but my little 15, 16-year-old brain, I don't think was ready for the context of this movie, and just how cool some of the low-budget special effects are in this one. So basically what we're going to get with this one is just this crazy gore fest of a horror movie that once it starts, like once it kicks off, it does not stop. And again, it was done not just for like a low amount of money, which shows, but it was done by people that really didn't know what they were doing. I think the story is there's one person on the production crew that had done a movie before, so it's all first timers. They were figuring it out as they went. They had to redo a lot of stuff, and what you end up with is a really cool movie. And what's even cooler about it is that The Evil Dead 2 is essentially a remake. It's a sequel, but they just sort of redid it with more experience. They brought some more experienced people in. Greg Nicotero is a very, very famous special effects guy. He did Dusk Till Dawn, Robert Rodriguez movies, a bunch of stuff, but his big claim to fame now is The Walking Dead. He's like in charge of the gore effects for The Walking Dead and even directs probably a handful of episodes every season. So he's like a top dog now, and they brought him in on The Evil Dead 2, and the special effects were much better. But there's some charm in how this movie's like punk rock. It's raw, it's rough, and that's what's cool about it. So that's what we're gonna watch. I'm excited about it. I'm gonna give you some insights on behind the scenes stuff, tell you about some stuff that I like as we're watching it. And I actually put out multiple recommendations. Goodfellas was in the mix. It came in second place. I would have loved to watch Goodfellas with you guys. That's my favorite movie. But I got to say, I was rooting for this one, so I'm very proud of everybody for picking this one. Are we going to do this every Thursday? I don't know that we're going to do that. But I have a feeling, especially the way this is starting off, we got almost 350 people in here. I think we're going to do this more often. I tell you what, before we get started, everybody just, if you feel like it, throw up a time and let's say a weeknight, throw up a time and be sure to put your time zone. So put Eastern or Pacific or whatever. Throw up a time real quick, and it could be middle of the day. Throw up a time that works great for you to sit down and do this. I assume it's around this time. Because I can't do it too much later because everyone on the East Coast will be asleep, and I don't want to do it too much earlier because everyone on the West Coast will be at work, or hopefully we'll all be back to work soon. Daniel, I'd love to do Evil Dead 2. The only reason I would resist that is I want to do something that everyone can easily access. So I only picked from stuff that's currently on Netflix just because I know my entire audience has Netflix. Whoa, that's going fast. Yeah, so it looks like some of you might like it a little bit later. We could do that. We could make this work a little bit later. I mean, not you. Well, a lot of you are saying 9 p.m. Eastern. We're close. We're going to start the movie here in about 5 minutes or so. That's pretty damn close to 9, but I could easily do 9 as long as we're not watching, like a 3-hour movie because I gotta get my beauty sleep. I'm also not really looking into the camera because I'm reading the chat. My face looks like shit. Not the graininess of the video is just because I want to watch this movie in the dark. I could put floodlights on my face and the camera wouldn't be so grainy, but you're not supposed to be looking at me anyway. You're supposed to be watching a movie. A good one I have a ton of behind-the-scenes knowledge of would be Goodfellas. I mean, I have a lot of behind-the-scenes knowledge of, like, Scorsese's top movies, some of Tarantino's movies. Someone asked if I'm on lockdown. Not really. I live in the suburbs of Atlanta, and while Atlanta is on lockdown, from what I understand, the general area around me is not, but everyone is home. When I go out to the grocery store and stuff, there's not many people on the roads. Everyone's doing pretty good around here. We're good. Everybody's good. I don't know how much longer that's gonna last before people start getting itchy, but again, for people, we're getting close to 400, folks. Again, the drink. I gotta see myself because I don't know if I'm in a frame. My drink is a Jules Pulp Fiction tiki drink. It's actually just a dark and stormy. Someone said four rooms with a question mark. You might have read the story about how me and my wife met because 4 rooms played a part in that. Stu, do you have time to get a smoke? You better suck the brains out of that cigarette real quick because I'm getting ready to start. Yeah, people are getting whiskey, burritos. So we'll wait a few more minutes. I was planning on starting at 8:45, but that number keeps going up. So sorry for I gotta punish everyone that jumped in immediately by repeating myself. But we're gonna be starting in a few minutes. I'm gonna show you my screen. So go ahead. Everybody needs to cue The Evil Dead. Not Ash vs. Evil Dead, not Evil anything else. The Evil Dead on their Netflix, on whatever you're watching the movie on right now. I'm going to be showing you my screen very shortly, and then I'll see if I can get this timer to go, but that's a two-handed move. And if I can't get it, I'm just going to say fuck it, and we're going to roll. Oh, Big Lebowski would be a good one. I could do a Big Lebowski episode. There's probably 100 movies that I could easily sit here and talk about. And we could do it for one that I can't talk about. We'll see how it goes. Hey, fair warning, everybody. I have no problem with cursing. I even hate saying the word cursing. It's such a stupid word. But I have no problem with it in the chat. But just so you know, when you do it, just use the word shit casually. It blocks it. And I actually have to click show for your comment to show up. It's automatic, and it just keeps people from being mean to each other, I guess. Feel free to do it, but when we're watching the movie, I'm not going to hit the button. I'm not going to see it. You're welcome to try to get one past the censor, but I think it's going to pick up any of your primary 4-letter words. Ooh, Grindhouse. We could maybe do something like that, but it's again, it's. I want something that's like easily available, so we're gonna kind of stick with Netflix stuff. Someone said shut the fuck up, and I have to click a button to say, yeah, look, everyone's trying. I'm telling you, they're not getting through. Everyone's cursing now, and they're just all blocked. I'm not going to show them. I'm not going to click all those buttons. We are close to 400. I am super excited about that. I did not expect we'd have 400 concurrent viewers because this is a haul. This is a long haul. I'd love to do something like this in Atlanta where we do it in a movie theater. I talked to a couple of movie theaters. I don't think they quite get what I'm trying to do, so it's going to take a little more massaging. How did you rate The Gentleman? I did a video review on it. It's only a few minutes long. It's only like 5 minutes long, so you can just search in YouTube Flick Connection and then whatever you want to find. You can search Flick Connection Horror, Flick Connection The Gentleman, Flick Connection Aliens, whatever you want, and odds are I did some form of video that includes that and something will come up. Oh, someone said fudge time. Fudge. The fudge gets through. Yep, now we're getting the abbreviated curses. They're all coming through. All right, we're going to be starting soon. Derek asked if I can swear for us. I dropped an F-bomb already. And if you noticed, I have no problem using language. If anything, I have a problem trying not to use it. But I mute it on the YouTube videos because YouTube doesn't like it, and I just don't even want to. I don't even want to play that game. I just would rather mute it and not have to deal with demonetization issues and stuff. Someone just watched The Platform. I really liked The Platform. Well, yeah. Obviously, social distancing. We're not going to go to the theater next week, but like this summer or something, I'd love to do a theater thing like this. Okay, people are getting ready, and we just broke 400. It's 8:46. I think it's time. Give me 1 second because I'm being kind of loud and the door is open up here. So let me get the door and then we're gonna go. So everybody, you got like a one. This is the 2-minute warning. We're gonna start the movie in less than 2 minutes. So go ahead and get in your seats, get comfy, get ready to hit play because I've got it queued up and it is ready to go. Yes, you should turn. Oh, yes, you should turn your lights off. While this isn't like an overly scary movie, because the special effects and stuff are clear as day, it's. I don't know why you wouldn't want the lights off. And someone says they don't need Netflix. That's fine with me. If you got it, you got it. Why am I sweating so much? Because I had a technical issue before this started. I've been running around like right before we went, and now I like can't cool off. Yep, I'm going to show my movie screen. Wow, that number keeps going up. Awesome, folks. Thanks, everybody. PMC, thanks for Super Chat. Thanks for doing this, Darren. Already fun times. I look forward to more events like this in the future. Be safe out there, everyone. Thank you for that. I should be able to see this as it come through because there's color, so it'll catch my eye because I got the chat right here. I'm just not going to necessarily be reading it. But if you send one, I'll read it. That's kind of the rule. Okay, and I'll say one more thing because I said 2 minutes. I'm giving everybody a minute to get queued up. I someone said don't touch your face. I touch my face a lot because I've got this facial hair to keep in line. But on the last live stream, I got a bunch of comments about not touching your face. I'm in my house. My hands are clean. I can't. You can't. It doesn't do anything if you're in your house and your hands are clean. It's not about touching your face. It's about going out in public and touching something that some idiot coughed and sneezed on, and then touching your face. All right, it's time. It's time. It's time. Okay, so I'm gonna do my best on this. I'm gonna let it roll on there for a minute, just so you can like fast forward or try to get it queued up. And I'm gonna have this timer. Yeah, there's the start button. Actually, let me get this in my lap, and then I'll pop it up back there. But yeah, we're good to go. So this is it, folks. I'm gonna give you just a second, and I gotta kind of look at the screen and make sure we're good. Let's see here. Here's my movie screen. That's my Netflix. I have it queued up with 2 seconds to go. So let me actually bring that back. So don't hit play yet. Don't hit play yet. All right. So I got it queued up at 0 seconds. Make sure you do as well. We are going to count down from 5 and hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Hopefully everybody's good. Let's see, it hasn't caught up. The movie has started for me. So this shot right here is just to sort of set the tone. They're literally just in a little inflatable dinghy, and someone's pushing it across this lake, and they're just holding the camera. Like, as low rent as you can go. They have no real gear or technology to speak of besides cameras. Since nobody says anything important here, that car is in every single Sam Raimi movie to one degree or another. Peter Parker's uncle drove it in Spider-Man. Sam Raimi did a movie with Cate Blanchett called The Gift, which is also on Netflix, and it's a good thriller. She drives that car. It's just a beat-up version of it, but she drives it. It's really featured in that movie. So that right there is a great example of the low budget. The shots in that were nothing. There was just some driving past it, and it was cut together in a way where it looked like it was almost an accident. The script was supposed to be a logging truck spilled out, and it was this big stunt, and they literally just couldn't afford to do it. Which sounds lame, but it's part of the charm of the movie. And I assume he's drinking moonshine in that mason jar. But if you've ever had moonshine, you cannot drink that much of it. Certainly not while driving. I think you would throw it up if you drank that much. But I was going to say, by no means is this just like a crappy movie. This has really great qualities when you consider how low end it was, and it was also just very inventive for the time. Like, they got a lot done with this movie. And this is all one location. I think the basement scenes are done somewhere else, but this is the actual road to the cabin. And it's just an iconic cabin. If you think about, like, the movie Cabin in the Woods references this. A ton of really good movies reference the Evil Dead, and not just a little bit either. Someone said, "When are we starting?" Kathy, we already started. This is how far we are into the movie. You can go back on the live stream. You can just go back a few minutes before us, or just fast forward the movie to this time. Someone says the cabin has a horrible backstory. I don't know the backstory on the cabin, but I do know it's a real cabin that they found. They retrofitted it, knocked walls out, cut out windows and stuff. But I know that it was covered in animal shit in the inside, just because animals had been going through it for years, and they had to just basically, it was just caked in shit because it never, think about it, it never gets rained on. Um, so they had to scrape all that out, and then the windows have no glass in them unless you see glass break. And then when the glass breaks, it's real glass because they didn't know or have access to breakaway glass or sugar glass. This. I'll get more in detail on stuff like that. This is a very dangerous movie to shoot. The cabin does not have a basement. There are basement scenes, but when you see a door in the floor, they literally just dug like 6 feet down and put some stairs in, and then the basement is in somebody's house. That's a great shot. For a low budget movie with people that don't know what they're doing, I mean, it's not framed out very well, but that looks good. Especially when you consider that the cabin is a character in the movie. It very much is. They need to intro it a little bit, and this whole approach to the cabin and entering it is an intro to it. And they're sort of introing all these little places where they're going to have all these little great moments throughout the movie. It's just the stuff like that is so much smarter than you would expect or think it would be on a first pass. This shed was sort of inspired by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as so many things are in horror. I mean, and even the color, obviously it's a color palette of wood, but it looks like a scene from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like they color graded it or something. I mean, it looks like it's from that movie. But there's another shot. There's a cabin sort of being a character. There's yellow windows. Corbin says nothing's ever filmed like this anymore. I'm not exactly sure what you mean, but if you think mean what I think you mean, there are things made like this, but the problem is they don't do well financially, commercially, and it takes a long time for them to build up an audience. And they're rare, but they do happen, but they just take a long time for us to hear about them. So we don't know about them for like 20 years in a lot of cases. Someone says, is the cabin itself evil? I'll answer that by saying, so look at what you drew. I'll answer that by saying the original title of this was Book of the Dead. We're not even 10 minutes in, and it has started. It has begun. That is brilliant. I don't know why some movies, especially horror movies, want to take 30, 45 minutes getting into it. It's such a waste of time. Man, they made enough macaroni and cheese for like 18 people. So there's no cellar. It's just a hole in the ground. God, what a dig. And a couple of these actresses hated this movie so much, they basically had themselves removed from having been in it. And they didn't know it was a cultural phenomenon until long, long after it was done. The scariest thing you could do there is just hide down there and wait for someone to come get you. That would be my move. I would just say, he's messing around. I would say, fuck him. Just close it, move a piece of furniture on top of it. That's what would happen to me if I tried to mess with my friends. Holly Golden, fun idea. Thank you for the $5 contribution. Holly. Campbell looks so young. He is so young. They're all like 20 here. They're like fresh out of college, fresh out of film school. Zero experience, which is, again, which makes this so cool. And a lot of movies are done, especially horror, they're done on low budgets, which is a reason that they made this movie, because they knew they could make it on a low budget and make a fun movie. But they're produced in this way where they just get the shots that they need, and they wouldn't take the time to do that shot of his feet coming down the stairs, because it's a whole other setup. They got to get all the crew and the lighting and everything just to get that 1 second of film. And because they didn't know any better, this movie is loaded with stuff like that that's way better than feet. Little makeup effects and stuff that are unnecessary, but they build up, and cumulatively they add to this so much. I mean, that shot, again, they would just normally just shoot up, show the room is empty, cut back. They give you what they need to get by on a low end movie like this. and this one and others just go the extra mile, like putting glycerin up on the pipes and stuff. It's just, man, they did such a good job with this, considering. So Chris K says this wasn't supposed to be a comedy, was it? It's supposed to be scary, but it's also supposed to be fun. It's not just supposed to. It's not a comedy, but it is supposed to kind of make you laugh and scream, and you're supposed to enjoy watching it. That was the intention. They weren't trying to make The Exorcist here. It's not super serious. Sorry to break that tension. It's not super serious, but it's not quite a comedy either. I think that's why people loved it so much because it just felt different. Jesse Rupp, thank you for the super chat. What an asshole. What's in that jar in the back? There it is. Pretty good drawings. You see the Hills Have Eyes poster, kind of torn in the back. That's another influence on this one. He's like, yeah, you're right. You get that jar of blue substance. Someone said trigger discipline. You need muzzle discipline too. Dave Simmons, thanks for setting this up. Thank you for watching. Someone asked about the budget. It was 150. They spent 500,000. I feel like Scotty wouldn't actually have this many friends. And that's the least awful thing that happens to the women of this movie. They get this movie is so terrible to those girls. I mean, awful. I mean, the guys too, but not like the women. I mean, stuff that I don't think would fly today. And that is blurry, like as in not in focus. Do not adjust your TV sets. Because a big thing with this one is everybody's doing multiple jobs too. I mean, Bruce Campbell was doing a lot of the crew work as well. So I guess unibrows were in back in 1981. Necessary relationship building, storyline stuff. They have to do it so you care about the characters. It's necessary. What an awful gift. Farva, do I fancy myself Spartacus? No, I'm not sure what that means. Really not. All right. Horror movie side boob. This guy's got a big old buck knife on his back. Really hanging on to that scribbling she did. Janice, thank you for the super chat. Sorry, switching from watching and talking. Thanks for helping us all be alone together. Thank you. Someone says it's horror sex time. Yeah, it is horror sex time, but probably not in the way that you're thinking. But see, like going through the extra effort to get that moon, to put that together, in two different shots, like it's just extra energy, but they knew what they wanted to do. I love that those trees fall down. It just gives you the feeling that something big is coming. As bloody as this movie gets, this actually is one of the more graphic moments in the movie. But all of this with the vines is just simply achieved by wrapping them around her and then pulling them and playing it back in reverse. And it's really effective. I mean, it looks. I mean, for something that basically costs no money to do, this is rough, folks. Who's uncomfortable? Let me know in the chat. Even though we're not in the same room together, who's still uncomfortable? Or who forgot to close their blinds? So the directors and stuff in the UK, this movie was effectively banned, and the creators, the people responsible for the movie, almost got brought up on obscenity charges, and it would have meant jail time. Um, it's nothing like free speech, which they do not have over there. Yeah, they almost went to jail for this. Not just this scene, but the movie as a whole. Farva, thanks for the multiple super chats. I'm sorry I'm having trouble keeping up with them, but no, I don't think I've ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight. If I did, I do not remember. No, don't get me wrong. This is not the most graphic part, but it's just kind of the more upsetting part of the movie. But it is one of the things that caused it to be, banned in some countries. But it gets worse. Trust me. Yeah, John, you need two. You need two. John, you need two screens. You can't. Sorry, but you're late. Don Gray watches every week. Got too many streaming services and cause them to spend too much money. Thank you for throwing in another $10 though. Thanks, Don. And for everyone that's using the word rape in the chat, it's YouTube's blocking you. I can see it, but nobody else can. We all saw it. We know what it was. No point in going on about it. Yeah, everybody should be using this on two screens. You can just have me on your phone if you want. Phone or iPad. Like, that's a good shot with the blue light and the light. Like, there's just so many good shots in this that they didn't have to do, but they did anyway. He just gave her that look like, shut up, bitch. I'm taking you into town. Just sit there and be fucking quiet. That's that look he just gave her. It's hard for me to watch this and not think of Evil Dead 2, though. If you enjoy this movie, do yourself a favor and actually, while we're watching, I'm going to see if the Evil Dead 2 is available on any streaming services. Farva, I've never worked as a key grip on The Walking Dead. I get that a lot, though. So, I would imagine the car is still around. It's a classic car. It's been in a bunch of movies. I'm not seeing the Evil Dead 2 available right now, but if you want to pay to watch it, it's great. It's essentially take two of this with just a lot more money. So far, this is like the biggest special effect is this broken bridge and smoke. Smoke machine. As far as stuff that they really spent money on, and this seems so much cooler in Evil Dead 2. Another great shot with nothing. There's just two spotlights and a smoke machine. I'm sorry, folks. I down at rum drink. I'm not gonna make it to the end of the movie. I gotta pee. I will be back in 1 minute. Sorry about that. I know that's unprofessional, but I wanted to go before this really kicks off. Oh, yeah. Oh, here it comes. Oh! Yikes! God. Everyone's doing their own stunts, by the way. They don't have stunt people. I know it didn't seem like much, but falling down and stuff is not. Usually, stunt people do all of that. They run. Stunt people run for a lot of actors. Because if you get hurt, then the shoot's over. Lucky for that seller. To me, this movie is like the closest thing to like a really good haunted house. You know what I mean? Like a haunted house doesn't really, it scares you in the moment, but it's not really terrifying. It's fun and scary at the same time. Not necessarily comical either. It's just, it feels like a haunted house, like a great one, you know? And that injury to the ankle is mild compared to the injuries they receive as the movie goes on. But that shot, for some reason, is one of famous for being one of the more gruesome ones in the movie. I think it's because it's the first one with like really blood, and you kind of become desensitized to it as we go along, and that first one just gets you. But it is pretty gross, and you know it would hurt. You know that spot would hurt so bad. I can almost feel it. Farva, I'm sorry, I can't keep up with all the questions. I appreciate the multiple super chats. I don't see them all. They don't because they're $2. They don't stay up at the top. I don't know, but I did miss a $10 one, didn't I? The bigger ones they stay up at the top. Debbie, thanks for the $10 contribution. And no, Farva, I'm not a makeup artist. I have nothing to do with the film industry. I do not work in the film industry. I mean, I work in the film industry as much as you can tell, but not officially. Out of focus again. Yeah, coming in. Guys, I feel like you should be on your feet already. I really do. Lindy, thanks for setting this up and picking one of my favorite movies. Skeleton emoji, ghost emoji, devil emoji, book emoji, popcorn emoji. Thanks again, Farva. Jesse says, I feel like we're all roommates now. It's 300 roommates. It's a pretty packed house. I'm excited about it. Yikes. Farva, when the movie's over, I will share what I do for a living. I don't want to do it mid movie. And I don't want to interrupt moments like this too much. Do it. Yes, she just ate her own hand off. A little nub. It looks like that was important. All right, now cut her head off. Do the exact same thing to the other demon in the basement. Get the fuck out of there. Done. Movie over. Lindy says Bruce Campbell was a puss in this movie compared to Evil Dead 2. And I think part of that is they figured out how to make it better the second go around, and they're like, he needs to be more of a hero, which he becomes one in this, but not like Evil Dead 2. Not like sticking a chainsaw in your nub. And part of the reason they're not really reacting too much to this, I think the concept is these women are their friends. They don't know what to do. It's kind of that's why they're not. That's why he's not just wielding that axe, which is something that happens in all zombie movies and stuff. That first kill is hard to do. See, now she's screaming in like her voice a little bit. God, what a great effect! Just to turn the camera red, cover the lens with blood. I know that doesn't look great, but again, this was done by people who had never made a movie before in 1981. This was new. Someone said jail cell. I don't think that's a red cell. I think they probably just put glass or plexiglass in front of the lens and ran their fake blood down, is my guess. Because it did run down and it seemed to be kind of away from the lens. And that's also just kind of how they made it. They didn't have a lot of stuff. Not that a gel cell's expensive, but I would imagine they just came out and they're like, oh, hey, grab one of those prop panes of glass and let's drip it down. And that's very much the spirit of this movie. Is they just like, again, it's punk rock. Like they just made it as they went. I mean, they obviously had a vision, but shallowest grave ever. You know where they almost always find the body, don't you? It's almost always in the shallow grave. And we cannot both carry her. Someone said realistic looking bruises. I've done bruises in videos a few times. They're not that hard to do. I do them with crayons. Man, YouTube does not like some of you guys' comments. that infection effect is just they're just it's just painted on in like stop motion style. You know, you spend 2 hours just painting a little bit more and getting one shot just for that 1 second. It's cool stuff, man. Jump scare. I love the effect of her doing this silly laugh. And Scotty got fucked up quick. God, what happened to Scotty? What's the over under on Scotty getting raped by the trees as well? He didn't say anything. Looks like he might have been. And he's mumbling like he's got an asshole full of splinters. Slapping his wounds. Yeah, I love those laughs. Yeah, Scotty's insides are torn up. Just, I don't think they'd ever do that in a movie today. I mean, I guess they did. I guess I Tanya. There was a lot of woman beating going on. Can't do it. Hug her immediately. It's the smartest move. So a lot of the makeup here is like acrylic paint and shit, stuff that's not supposed to be on your face. Acrylic paint, not acrylic paint and shit. But it's not supposed to be on your skin. Not just because it can harm your skin, but it doesn't come off. It has to be like scraped off. These people went through hell for this movie. The contacts, the whiteout contacts, cover your entire half of your eyeball, and they burn, from what I understand. And you're only supposed to leave them in for a little bit, and they just left them in all day because they had to keep shooting. And ugh, this was supposed to take 6 weeks. It took 12. And then most of them didn't even like the movie when it came out. They didn't realize that it was going to be this cultural sensation that we'd still be sitting here, 300 of us would be sitting here watching in 2020 over the internet. You know, they had no idea what they were making. And still went through all of that. I always felt like that the demon gave up the game a little too quickly there. Like you could have got him down in that basement. God, she did such a good job. It's so creepy. Such a major part of this movie at this point. Everyone's fucked. And now it's just about torturing Bruce for the rest of the movie, or Ash for the rest of the movie. He's gonna drown him. All right, I'm to the bottom end of my drink. I'm gonna grab a beer, but they're right here behind me. Hang on. It's a weird way to hold a blade, especially when she was holding it perfectly before. Yeah. But now imagine all of this is happening and it's filmed as good as The Exorcist. Meaning the makeup all looks 100% convincing. It's not it got this like again this punk rock kind of raw edge to it where you can kind of see the filmmaking. It's just like really crisp and high production value. It would be terrifying if this was Exorcist level shit. It'd be like one of the scariest movies ever made. Okay, so gnarly shit coming up. It doesn't seem like it because you would assume that everything was safe. I'll just say this: the chainsaw in this scene is real. It is not a prop chainsaw. It is real. He is really holding a real chainsaw that close to her fucking body. That's insane. It's absolutely insane. Mike Cook, $15 super chat. Northern Michigan has a theater that puts on an Evil Dead spoof, throws fake blood on you. You get a shirt. He survived the splatter zone. Pretty hilarious DVDs and a mustard stain in your pants. Oh, my pants. There's a story as to why my pants are all fucked up. We'll talk about that stuff after the movie. If you remember to ask me, I don't want to go on about stuff before. I should put on clean pants. Someone's asking if I'm going to leave it up. Yeah, this is going to be left up. You'll be able to go back and sort of scroll to the point where the movie starts. You'll be able to watch this anytime if you want. It won't be as cool because we're not all watching it together, but you know. That's a good sound. Shit, that's what I look like at the beginning of this. It's covered in sweat. There go those hinges, finally. Are there any exterior shots without smoke? I don't know that there are. Legitimately. Oh, regretting that shallow grave now, aren't you? Yikes. Oh, dude. Forgot about that shot. Damn. Now, the best bit of the movie is coming. There's that milk again. Now, I don't think that is the actress anymore. I think that's someone wearing a wig. They went so long on the shoot that, the actors and stuff, they hung in there as long as they could, but they had to go do other projects. So they got a lot of the other shots they were missing by just dressing up crew members. And I'm pretty sure that's a man. Yep. Because why not? That might be her. So dismemberment doesn't really work. Like you literally cannot decide whether you want to stay in the house or in the woods. Someone says, "When's the sun coming up?" He said in about an hour. And the rest of the movie is almost kind of in real time. It takes place over like kind of less than an hour, which I think is kind of cool. Like we're not losing time as it go from outside to inside. I'm doing my best not to ruin the scares. Damn, that was good. Just shot. But yeah, there's some of the worst makeup in the movie. But like that shot of him jumping over the camera, they got to cut a hole in the floor to get that shot. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Just that extra effort. But that extra effort was very expensive too. It went way, way over budget for this. The Shining would be great. This next sequence is my favorite in the movie. I mean, how cool is that? There's just blood coming, just manifesting from everywhere, filling up the light bulb, and then it turns the light red. I just and apparently the blood coming from everywhere is actually inspired by a Three Stooges episode. Or that's right. On the projector, it turns the light in the room red. But inspired by a Three Stooges episode where there's like a plumbing issue, and you can imagine Three Stooges. There's just water coming out of everywhere. It's crazy to me to have the foresight that you could make something like this and that people would like it. Because it's so wild and gross and different at the time. Like, how did they know people were going to enjoy this as much as they enjoyed making it? Yeah. Love how there's air vents because this was actually somebody's basement in a different state from the actual cabin, but there's air vents. There's clearly no central AC or heat in that cabin. And then this part in the Evil Dead 2 is my favorite in the whole franchise, where like the deer on the wall starts laughing and everything's going crazy. I love, love, love that scene. Like the house has got like a heartbeat. Again, just haunted house vibes all over this thing. Little sound effect with the rafters go by when the camera goes by the rafters. Oh, this is a good one. Like how fucking creative is that? Again, real glass because they didn't know any better or couldn't afford breakaway. Farva, I don't know what blet is. I definitely don't teach it, but I do. I don't cut hair, but I cut my own hair. I've done it for 15 years. Right? I love the comments, folks. I love that everyone's loving this. It's awesome. Awesome. I think you can forget about Linda. Linda's gone, bud. Linda's gone. Oh, which one is this? I think this is his sister. And that's another thing. Like the scary part about it isn't dying; it's being trapped, like in whatever hell these people are in. You could actually see the tube that the blood was coming. You can see the tube, the hose, the blood's coming out of there. Another reason the second one is just so much better, but I love that they both exist. Finally, Scotty wakes up. Ooh, yawn. I think you see the book a lot more in the second one. So a director friend of mine made a movie like this recently, and coronavirus is fucking up his release because no festivals are gonna happen. But once that looks like it's gonna get a release, I'll be talking more about that. Yikes! Nails. It seems like the demons or whatever would just infect Ash at this point, and that would be the end of it. Like everyone else got infected pretty easily. I feel like he could reach it. It's a good sequence there. I don't know what he thinks he's going to get out of that book. Well, that's one way to do it. Man, those contacts. She looks like she was drinking whatever was in that blue bottle downstairs. And here comes some stop motion stuff. It's pretty rad, man. Like again, considering the low budget nature of this, it's clay animation, but it that's almost like some Indiana Jones shit. Almost, you can kind of tell, but it needs to be layered up a little bit more with some other effects. But we're getting close to the end. I'm gonna take some. We're gonna do some Q&A stuff when the movie's over. We'll do like 15 minutes. Ugh, ugh. Whoa, whoa! Forgot about those shots. Damn, dude. I've never seen this in the theater. This would be so cool to go see in the theater. Ugh. Is this a dead snake in the mix there? How metal is that blood on his face? How sick is that? It looks so much better like that than it would have looked if he was completely covered in blood. Like if his face was red, that would have looked sick too, but that looks so much cooler. And I mean, Sam Raimi's just such a good storyteller because he showed the sun going down, was a fairly irrelevant shot at the time, but then you get almost the exact same shot of it coming up, you know? And that's not that that's genius, but for someone with no experience that's really focused on making this gore fest to remember to put it in the shot of the sun going up, down when it doesn't matter, like when it doesn't mean anything to the main characters because it's going to mean something later. I'm going on about that a little bit too much because it's such a simple concept, but I like that stuff. And just, you know, it just means you thought it was over and it's not. It's a simple concept. I love that. I gotta stop my. That's an hour and 24 minutes. That's the movie. So let's see. Just as we're sort of like getting out of it, and my hair looks weird. I got headphone here. Let's do some Q&As. It'll take a minute, like 30 seconds for your excuse me, for your chats to catch up with me. But if you guys got any questions, I know there was a couple of things that were asked during, and I can't remember what they were. So if you're still watching and you ask me a question that I feel free to ask anything. But if I said I was going to address something, go ahead and remind me. While you're doing that, I'll say, and this isn't me just I am shamelessly plugging my next video, but I'm just telling you now, my next video, I'm gonna release it, I think on Saturday instead of Friday, but it's everything April that's getting added in April on Netflix. I normally have a little over 20 recommendations. This video's got 40. There's so much stuff that they're adding that I want to talk about. So I'm going through them quick, so it's about the same time frame. But there's 20. Okay, so people are asking about my job. No, I'm not a bartender. So job, pants, and someone wants to know my PIN number, so we'll go in that order. I was actually thinking about giving my PIN number because I don't think it matters. But my pants are dirty because I don't know if you noticed on the last video, and you'll certainly notice on the next one, things are getting reduced behind me. So this is the actual studio behind me. Let me see. I mean, there's no lights on, but I literally stand behind these chairs when I present. And like the barn doors that are always behind me are back there. That's the wall that you normally see on my videos. And you'll notice in the last one and certainly the next one that there's less and less stuff back there. It's because we're moving to a new studio. Most likely moving to a new studio. And so I've actually been working on stuff and my pants are dirty and I didn't change them because I've been working all day and just stopped long enough to come do this. Roman, thanks for the super chat. I feel like I'm in a rooftop drive-in. It's kind of what we were gonna go for, was just kind of having like a hangout drive-in movie experience. Job. So because there's 250 of you still watching, you guys get to know for the first time. I've never told anybody what I do for a living. So the secret is that now I'm officially doing Flick Connection full time. This is my job. This is what I do for a living. That's a fairly recent development, and I didn't make a big announcement about it because, behind the curtain and whatnot. But my background is in graphic design and marketing. I actually went to art school I have a degree in graphic design. First job out of college was actually as an illustrator, like a hand drawing illustrator, and I did sales for a web company for a while and did marketing for a while, and I just really found it to be not for me. Like to a certain degree, it was for me because I was good at it, but it was kind of like it was too monotonous, and I ended up going down this YouTube rabbit hole. And as it began to work out more and more, I determined that this is what I wanted to do because I love it. I love talking about the movies. I love editing the videos. I design all the thumbnails. I have other stuff I want to do, like in the t-shirt shop. There's a link in the description to that. I designed all those shirts. Those are actually going to be going away very soon, and all new ones are coming in. So if you want one of those, go ahead and get it now because they are going to be gone soon. Jeanette, I hope I'm saying that right. It looks like it says JNet, but Jeanette, thanks for the great live stream. Very fun. Looking forward to the next one. We will do another one within a month. Within a month. We will do another one. So it's definitely not going to be a weekly thing, but I could see this being a monthly thing. And we might even dial into the same, second Thursday, something. My lifestyle's a little bit, just with kids and traveling and stuff, it's a little bit hard to stick to something that routine. But I think we're certainly gonna do it again within the next 4 weeks, maybe even sooner. Sorry, folks, I'm just reading. What device do you use to watch movies on? PlayStation 4, and I got a old PlayStation 3 in the living room. But I mostly watch here, and I just got these 2 theater seats. I've got a projector, a BenQ projector, 100-inch projection screen that I sit fairly close to. And that's my rig, and I love it. I love it. I don't have a boat. I have this. Will Mrs. Van Dam join you? Maybe she'll join me on the next one. She has done a live stream with me. It was about a year ago. Alan, have you seen Super Dark Times on Netflix? I have. It was included in a couple of videos last year, and it's just been a long time since I've included it again. I probably should. I've actually come close to including it in some recent videos, but I felt like I try not to repeat myself too much, unless I just love the movie, What movie we're going to watch next, I don't know, because I'm going to kind of just pick one. I'll probably do the same thing. I'll probably pick 4 or so of things that are on Netflix and that I think would be good in this setting. So, like this one was great because there's not a lot of dialogue in it, and the dialogue that is there, if I'm talking over, it's not that crucial. But if it's a very thinky movie that a lot of people haven't seen that you got to pay close attention to, I don't think that would be a good fit for this. So I'll pick some that I think will be a good fit, and certainly ones that I can talk a lot about. So I'll pick a few, and then in some of the ones that I picked last time, Goodfellas came in second place for this one. So I may throw it in the mix again to see if it can win. Christmas Vacation. I say fuck it. Let's just do that at Christmas next year. I'll try to keep that in mind. It's my all-time favorite Christmas movie. I watch it. There's not a Christmas that's gone by in the last 10, 15 years that I have not watched it. For people that are still watching, definitely, this is not me just trying to get followers. Follow the Darren Van Dam. It's spelled just like it is in the title of this video. The Darren Van Dam on Instagram and Twitter. If you use those, just because I announce stuff like this, I also just post. Mainly every now and then on Twitter I'll post a random thought or something. But I tell you, if I watched a movie recently and I liked it, I'll tell you about it. So you'll get more movie recommendations from me. That's the main thing that I'm doing. Someone's asking if I'm drunk yet. It takes a lot, dude. It's not going to be one dark and stormy, one beer. Yeah. We'll do Goodfellas at some point, but I'm not going to do it if people don't vote for it. Die Hard would be a good one. Tucker and Dale, I almost put that up for the vote this time, but I kind of wanted this one to win, so I didn't do it. But I may do it. I may put it in the vote for the next one. Terrifier could be a good one. You know what? I'm not. I'll say this. So Jenna Cannell, who is in Terrifier, she's the one in the skeleton dress. I will do Terrifier if she will come watch it with me. That's the only way we'll do Terrifier. And if she comes, we will have more of a. We'll sit back away so we can have some lights and we can both sit here and you can see us both. I'll have to have microphones. It'll be a whole thing. But if she will come do it, I will do that one. Don't expect to see Terrifier without her, though. Shiva, nice reviews. Love them. Thanks for the super chat. I think I got this other one. Yeah, Janet. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Man, they're coming in fast. I'm trying to keep up. Robert says. Ooh. Someone said it's a pretty can of beer. Oh, damn, they're coming in quick, folks. I don't know. Can you see it? It's called Drafty Kilt. This is actually made in Atlanta. It's good. It tastes kind of like a Guinness, but it's like a 9%er. It only takes a couple of these. I like them. Attack the Block is a good one. Fargo would be a good one. Max Payne, I don't like that movie because I liked the games. I played the games and I liked them a lot. And I didn't think the movie just didn't. It didn't have the same spirit. Tusk, Cassie. Tusk could be a good one. Train to Busan could be, but then you got to read subtitles and listen to me. Inception. I'll tell you what. I bet you Mrs. Van Dam would join me for Inception. That's like it's one of, if not her favorite movies. Man, I can't believe how many of us are watching. Dead Alive would be a great one. So if Dead Alive is easily accessible, we will watch it. It's tough because they have a shitty edited version that's usually pretty accessible. And then the main version, which Dead Alive, if you don't know, was an early movie done by Peter Jackson. Went on to obviously do Lord of the Rings movies. And it is one of the most gory movies ever made, but it's in the spirit of the Evil Dead where it's actually just all funny. There's really nothing scary about it, but it's gross out, wild fun. It is my favorite bloody movie. It tops this. It is my favorite movie. I watch it every Halloween, but I have a copy. Copies are hard to come by. I don't even know that you can rent it. If I see that people can have access to it, we will watch it though. Favorite director of all time is easily Martin Scorsese. He probably always will be. Even if there's somebody I think is better in the future, he's my absolute favorite. Brawl in Cell Block 99 would be a great one. Then we might have to do that one. Ooh, I'm gonna have to pee again. Someone said, "What did you like about Platform?" The Platform is a new Netflix movie. It's Spanish language. The dubbing is not bad if you want to watch it dubbed instead of subtitled, because I always check that out. It was just cool. I liked the whole vibe of it. I thought it was smart. It made me think. The concept was just, I don't know. I really liked it. Paul Thomas Anderson is not my favorite director. I like him a lot. He's top 10 for me for sure. But I only really love a couple of his movies. I only really love Boogie Nights and There Will Be Blood. I like all of his movies, but I only really love those two. Kubrick's another one. I had trouble getting Kubrick. Like I get him more now than I did when I was younger, but I feel like there's so much more that he's doing that I'm not getting. However, The Shining is probably my favorite horror movie of all time. That and The Exorcist are like my top two. Someone says, where do we vote? It's in the community tab. So I'll post it, and just as you're browsing through your YouTube feed, if you subscribe to me, you should see it. Like that's like you'll just see it, and I'll get a good. There's always enough people that vote that I get a good. I get a good sampling, so it's like I trust the results. All right, folks. Any other last movies? No, we cannot start another movie now. I am done. It has been a long day, but I really enjoyed doing this. You're not the only one to recommend Nick Nikolaos. It's interesting. I don't think I've ever heard that name pronounced. I'm sure I'm not doing it right. But Reboot 2012, I've heard of, and I have not seen it yet. And a Serbian film. We're not going to put people through that. Aliens would be a good one. We're going to do something in that vein. Something that's just The Thing would be a great one. The Thing would be a perfect one to watch while we're all under quarantine. I've been thinking about that movie a lot. That's like the perfect quarantine movie. All right, folks. This was a lot of fun. I got to tap out, though. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm very excited that so many of you watched it. It makes my heart full and happy. We will be doing it again. Check out my Everything Coming to April, Netflix in April video coming out soon. I literally just rapid firing through 40 different things that I think are really cool on Netflix in April. A lot of good stuff getting added. More stuff getting added. Check out the links in the description. And because I get asked this all the time, how can I support the channel? Obviously, there's a Patreon link in the description, but if you don't want to do that, the most helpful thing, if you're a subscriber and you like the content and you want the channel to grow, is when you get a notification or you see a new video that you haven't seen, click on it and watch it right away. Even if you don't have time to watch it, you can let it play on your phone, and just the immediate interaction, as far as I can tell, that's the stuff Netflix likes the most. Netflix. That's the stuff, maybe I am a little drunk, but that's the stuff YouTube likes the most. When they see that my audience is engaging with the video immediately, it then gets they recommend it to other people that are not subscribers, and that's what grows the channel. That's what gets more videos seen. So just interacting, obviously likes and comments and stuff help too, but just as soon as something goes up and you see that it's available, even if it's a couple days later, as soon as you see it, if you click on it, that just tells YouTube, oh, this is something special. We need to share this with people. Because I get asked all the time. If you don't want to do that, it's no harm. And for anybody that came in late, I see a couple people coming in late. YouTube has to process this, but it's going to stay up. This will stay up. I'll change the thumbnail a little bit since it says tonight and it has a time zone on, times on it. You can just go back, play it, and there'll be a time where the movie starts and you can cue it up and you can listen to me commentate on The Evil Dead while you watch it on Netflix. Thanks a lot, folks. I'll probably go back through the chat tomorrow and see if there was any other recommendations for movies. But thanks a lot. Everybody have a good night. God bless. Thank you for watching with me. I had a lot of fun with you guys. Thanks so much.